So I'm out here today in wonderful Michigan. 5 degrees. I'd say it's good. It's a good, maybe 10 at the most. What I'm doing is I'm getting my pivot piece that I need for right over here from the same car that I got my other parts from. It's freezing, but this is what you got to do if you want to get your car back on the road, if you want to get it going. So I'll give you guys a video once I get everything in, and I'm probably inside a warm garage. Alright guys, till later. So back in my warmer garage, I was able to get both pieces, both the spacers I needed that blew up on the other side that I replaced. I put the one from over here over there, and I was able to get my pivot also, which I'm going to use, take the old one off here and put right in there, which is going to go and help support. Looks like it's basically the same. What happened is the one that I was taking out from the outside on the car, the junkyard, was also broke. So I looked at the one on the inside, it looked identical. So we're just going to make sure that works. Update coming. Okay, just as a reminder, go ahead and put your pivots on before you try to mount it back in, because simply I just tried it, once you get it back in there, you're not going to have enough room to try to put that pivot into this space on either side. So I already have them already set up, and then you want to maneuver it down. I would say have the headlight facing up almost all the way so you get clearance for this back piece, and then you can kind of angle it down each way. Alright guys, everything is now back installed to some degree. The fenders are back on, as you can see, and the lights are together. Just a real quick overview. You want to make sure when you're putting the lights on that you basically have almost everything assembled here. Now you see my conglomerated mess, the metal, which I have to bend back correct. But what you want to do is, if you're looking directly under here, make sure first when you're putting your headlight in that you see this, it looks like a spring. You want to put that on, and you see the orientation where you have one side, the outer side is coming under and the inside is coming over. Make sure you have that same configuration because it's got to fit over this bar correctly. Then from there you want to actually take this bar and slide it in, and the bar actually has a sleeve, and the sleeve goes inside the spring. Then you take that piece that I broke, I talked about that plastic piece, and that plastic piece goes on the outside, and you're kind of tapping it all the way so it keeps everything joined together very closely. It'll keep the mechanism working. Then you have to take both these pivots, pivot here and the pivot over here, which are right there, which are secured by 3 10mm bolts, and don't put the bolts on yet necessarily, but have the pivots in before you slide this whole headlight back into this area, okay? Because you won't have any space to do it or put those pivots in, because they have little pieces that move in like this, or they actually go inside the tube. You won't be able to put those in because you don't have enough space once you have the light in the area. So you want to have all that together already before you put the light together, or before you put the light in. Then I gotta adjust these shims a little bit here. You take your 10mm bolts, 3 of them, you put them in, you put the shims in between. You kind of put them in loosely. You can put your shims in to kind of line your stuff up correctly, and then you're pretty much good from there. I would recommend that you just take this fender off, or you can go underneath on the other side. Either way, you have another plate that has 3 10mm that go into this pivot also. And so now let's see with the manual test how it works. So let's see, am I turning the right way? This thing will eventually get going. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, as I turn it, the lights are both now coming up. And let's see here. They're continuing to rise nice and slowly, not that much effort. As you can see, I'm just turning it with my tip of my fingers there. Lights are coming up. And I think I'm just about there. I don't want to overdo it. Yep, that's it. So here are the lights. Sorry this car isn't cleaned up because I still have a long way to go before everything is perfectly straight. But yeah, the lights are up. They go back down the same way. But remember, when you're putting it together, or when you installing this light again, if you have to do any work, you put the spring in first. The outer side goes under the bar. The inner side goes over the bar. Then you put the arm in, sleeve inside the spring, and then you have the plastic retainer piece, or that goes in and holds everything together. Tap that in a few times. Keep everything nice and tight together, because you want it tight, because that's the only way you're going to get this nice, let me see if I can get a picture of this nice clearance. Where's the best way? You can't really see it, but these two bars, this kind of L-shaped bar, gets caught so that it moves the light back and forth. If you don't have everything tight when you're putting it together, this will leave too much clearance and it won't catch properly, okay? So keep it tight. You know, have your pivots already in before you slide your light in, and then you'll just go ahead and fasten everything down. And there's quite a bit of movement you can make with those pivots, because they allow for, I'm trying to focus here, they allow for some play in the light. The holes that go into the aluminum or into the sides there aren't exact holes, because they allow for play. So if you have some, you know, light issues where the gaps are wrong, you can always adjust the lights with those on the ends of these pivots here inside. See the three of them? You can adjust and move those around a little bit, and it'll give you some play so that you can match up your lines on your lights a lot better. So there you go, guys. Hope that helps you if you are having headlight problems or they're not coming up. One more thing. If you have a problem with one of your headlights not coming up, particularly your passenger side, make sure your windshield wiper fluid reservoir is pushed all the way down. It'll catch on a bar, the counter bar that sits right there. You can kind of see it right there. That bar swings, okay? And you see this tunnel that's supposed to be there to keep it from getting caught. If this is too high or off, it'll catch on that and make turning it manually a lot harder. That is a sign, you know, you just want to make sure you get that down or fix it. You don't want something to break over something so senseless. Okay? Alright, guys. Take care.